about to step in for the coming time of Jacob's trouble. And if we see the time of Jacob's trouble rapidly approaching, we know the rapture of the church of Jesus Christ occurs first. How close are we to the rapture? I would say a lot closer than people realize.
Many people with the rhetoric of praying for Israel and tying all of this to end times Bible prophecy and believing that this is the time of Jacob's trouble. This is not Jacob's trouble. What all these views are is mainstream Christianity. And like I said in that video, mainstream Christianity is in the strong delusion. The majority of the mainstream Christian church is under the strong delusion, and they're being prepared to accept the Antichrist or die in their rejection of the truth. You see, Satan doesn't care either way. His whole goal is to bring people to the same fate that he is going to receive. And so he tries to direct the masses to follow his agenda, which then walks people directly into the strong delusion. In the mainstream, they believe that the nation of Israel, the people that are in Israel right now, are the actual Israelites of the Bible. And they believe that this war is about fulfillment of Bible prophecy. That's what the mainstream believes. Let's be clear. This war is a part of fulfillment of Bible prophecy. It's just not the prophecy that people believe it is. The prophecy being fulfilled is what I spoke about in the video about the strong delusion, and it's important that you recognize it. That says, the coming of the lawless one is according to the working of Satan, with all power, signs, and lying wonders, and with all unrighteous deception among those who perish, because they did not receive the love of the truth that they might be saved. And for this reason, Elohim will send them strong delusion that they should believe the lie, that they all may be condemned who do not believe the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. As 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 9 through 12. People don't recognize that they're being steered and guided to accept a satanic agenda. But the truth of this, it's not hidden. It's right in plain sight. So I would like to tell you what I saw when I first heard about this war in Israel. In the 19th century, in the year 1871, 33rd degree Freemason occultist Grandmaster Albert Pike, this man, he wrote a letter to Giuseppe Mazzini. It's known as the Pike Letter to Giuseppe Mazzini. It was on display in the British Museum Library in London until 1977. Now, the British Museum Library denies that the letter exists, but I don't listen to these people. That does not matter. What matters is what is said in these letters. The letters go over a plan using 3 world wars in order to bring the world into the light of Lucifer. Albert Pike, the man who wrote Morals and Dogma and explained that Lucifer is the god of Freemasonry and explained that it is his light who they are bearing, he went into detail about 3 world wars before they ever happened. These excerpts are from the letter. I will not go into detail about what was written. I will post this PDF on my website so you can read it on your own. The link will be in the description box. What is important is what was said about the Third World War. These are the excerpts. The Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agentur of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionism, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economical exhaustion. We shall unleash the nihilist and the atheist. We shall provoke a formidable social cataclysm which in all its horror will show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, origin of savagery, and the most bloody turmoil. Then everywhere the citizens, obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries, will exterminate those destroyers of civilization, and the multitude, disillusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits will from that moment be without compass or direction, anxious for an ideal, but without knowing where to render its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, brought finally out in the public view. This manifestation will result from the general reactionary movement which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. Now listen, you can debate amongst yourselves if you believe this letter to be valid or not. I do believe it is valid, and I believe their plan. And as I see the events unfolding, I believe that this is all a part of it. This is what you're seeing, though. They are taking advantage of the differences caused by the agentur of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. Agentur means agency. So this secret society group has a rift and they're taking advantage of it. The war is to put the Muslim Arabic world and the state of Israel against each other so that they mutually destroy each other. This is the chaos that they plan to start. And through this chaos, the other nations of the world will be driven to desperation with no strong guidance or leadership until their Luciferian doctrine comes into full light. This is what you're seeing. Those in the mainstream that are following all of this are following a satanic plan that is being used to draw the world into the acceptance of satanic doctrine, just as I have explained from 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and the strong delusion. It's all the same thing. They have a plan to bring the world into the acceptance of their false light. And what you're seeing in the mainstream is all a part of it. Those following these lies will be steered into their web, and many will be condemned, just as 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 has prophesied. And that's why the video about the strong delusion was made. So let's get to the question about what do I think about the war in Israel. Here's the answer. I don't care about it. Not at all. Everyone involved is playing a role in a satanic agenda that I have absolutely no business with. I'm not listening to the news about it, and I'm not giving my heart, nor my mind, nor my prayers towards it. I only pray that people wake up and come out of the strong delusion. That's my only prayer towards that. I do have expectations, and whether they play out the way I think or happen in a different way, I know that I will not be following my enemy down the paths and traps that he's setting for all of us. So what do I expect? I expect war. I expect Iran and Saudi Arabia to be pushed into this in a major way, as this was what Pike was saying. I also expect that other wars will begin to start. Now, be clear, I cannot say for certain if the second seal was opened by the announcement of this news, but I am living as if this is possible, and I'm anticipating more war and peace to be taken from the earth. If I'm wrong, then good, we have more time to prepare. But if I'm right, by living in the right mindset, I will not be driven into their schemes. I also expect financial hardships to increase. Please expect this. Watch the price of oil because it's rising, and it will continue to. Watch as gas prices elevate. Watch the 10-year Treasury note because it has been on a steady increase because people are selling the United States debt. It's going on a little roller coaster right now, but it's on a straight trajectory up. The yields are going up, and that's because they're selling debt. I also expect the banking problem to also get affected as well. Don't forget, we're in the middle of a banking crisis that's just right under the surface. The system is just too fragile with massive debt and a changing economic system. Don't forget, we're all moving to a digital currency system. This is all a part of it. This war is all about their plans to guide the world into their new system. And they're doing this through the system of order out of chaos. We're just entering the chaos stage right now. I am also on alert for an escalation in the war in Ukraine with Russia. I expect some sort of nuclear disaster, and I also expect it in the Middle East as well. I also expect China to move on Taiwan. I expect war and chaos to happen. My expectation is that they're going to use this war in Israel to bring about more problems that lead us into a complete world war, World War III. These are not good times ahead. And if you are a true believer, you must make sure you're living in prayer and living with the right mindset, not attaching yourself to the strong delusion. The reason I'm making this video is to say that I do believe that they're going to escalate their satanic agenda as they draw the world into their satanic light. I'm not saying I'm certain of this because I obviously do not know. I'm not in the back rooms. I'm just telling you how I see it and how I'm preparing. Nothing changes for me though, because none of this has anything to do with me. I don't really care that much about what's going on, except that I'm ready for Yah. I am waiting on Yah to tell us when he wants us to move and what he wants us to do in order to be ready for him. So I suggest you all do the same. Stay in prayer. This is a good time to fast. If you have never fasted before, this is a good time to fast. Fast and pray. Turn off your televisions and stop listening to the media in regards to all of this. Watch for headlines. Yes, you want to know what's happening, but don't give your heart and your mind to this at all. Be prepared to stay in your home for an extended period of time if things go left very suddenly. Expect that things can go left suddenly. I've made a supplies list that you can use if you have not already been stocking up for the times ahead. I made videos about stocking up. I've made a supply list that can help you. The link is in the description box. I suggest that you use it. Be stocked up and have a plan. We are in the beginning stages of them collapsing the system. And you know this because the news media is completely focusing on this and